And after you've hit that shot, can't do anything about it.
Right.
So just move on and focus all your efforts on the next shot.
This is Ross McDonald, owner of Poor Quality Golf in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and he thinks I can get the scratch.
Not a problem.
We dive into underrated truths about golf,
Playing field is completely different than the practice field.
how TrackMan helped his game,
I've never hit so many flag sticks in my life.
what it truly takes to become a scratch golfer,
To get to a 0 scratch handicap, how much golf and how much practice you have to play.
and much more.
Stop taking gimmies, you're not doing yourself favors.
For sure.
For sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Golf and Politics. Ross McDonald is our guest today. Ross, thanks for coming on. We are here at Ross's business. This is Poor Quality Golf. Before we start, Ross, just tell a little bit about if you're in the Tulsa area and you want to get clubs fitted, you want to come in and practice, give a little pitch for your business.
For sure. So we are Tulsa's only indoor golf training facility. We focus on anywhere from beginners to, top 100 players in the world. We have the complete system from lessons, fittings, club repair. If you don't know where to start, if you don't know how to practice, that's kind of the point of what we have. You don't have to be good to come here. You don't have to be a member. We open the facility.
Being a member is a good idea.
It is because
it's a great value.
It saves you so much money in the long run, and you get so many discounts. But really, I don't think a lot of golfers know how to practice and actually improve. So that's kind of what this was designed for.
Yeah, that's great. Now I enjoy being a member. Been a member for over a year now. Coming out some days I come in here at 5:00 in the morning.
It's just too convenient, isn't it?
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's pouring down the rain. It's still practice.
For sure.
But Ross, you've been we've committed to doing a monthly lesson every month. And one thing I appreciate about you is I'm never sitting there trying to figure out what the instruction is. You have a way of just speaking real plainly and telling me what to do that I understand, and I appreciate that. And we're not trying to completely rebuild a golf swing either. Mm-hmm. We're looking at something every month that we're tweaking that needs to improve, and I appreciate that. So Ross, one thing we've agreed to do is every month taking a lesson. Just took one on New Year's Eve, I believe, and we worked on that. We'll go back and look at some of that but when we close up on what we're working on this month. But more importantly, you and I started putting together a plan. First one I put together, you said, that's way too complicated. Let's dumb it down. And I've got it all here, but we won't get into all of it. But the main thing you said is come in and do a TrackMan Combine once every 2 weeks and then figure out what to work on from there. So talk about the TrackMan Combine. For somebody that's never been on a TrackMan, what is a TrackMan Combine?
For sure. So basically, it's a way to gauge what parts of your game are strong and what parts of your game are weak. So you're going to start off, you're going to hit 60 shots. It's going to start off, what did it start off at, like 50 or 60 yards?
60 yards. Yeah.
60, it goes 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 180, and then driver. And it's going to score you 0 to, let me pull yours up.
I got mine from yesterday. Let's go ahead and pull it up now and go over it.
For sure. So basically, it's going to score you 0 to 100. Obviously, 0 being bad, 100 being great. But it basically gives you a chart, and you can overlay this on the screen if you want, of what areas you need to work on. So just by looking at your chart, all I have to do is just look at the chart, and I can tell you that we need to start working on 60-yard shots, 80-yard shots, 140-yard shots, and 180-yard shots. Yeah. Your driver at 74% is acceptable to me for now.
Yeah, so let me talk a little bit. So I did this yesterday, came in here New Year's Day. And he also says my estimated handicap is a 4 based upon ball striking ability there. So the 60-yard shots, I just kept hitting them too far. And so like you hit a 60-yard shot 70 yards, it's going to give you practically a 0 score. And I had too many of those shots in there. But what was great was because I hit those 60-yard shots 70 yards, I knew what the feel was like. So when I went to 70, I was hitting them really well.
For sure.
And then, again, struggled with 80 because, again, I'm in between yardages there too. Like, that's a nice, solid, full lob wedge, because I carry 62 is my lob wedge. Okay. So it's like a nice full lob wedge, or it's a 3/4 sand wedge, and so I was off on that distance. When it comes to 140, that's another tough yardage for me, because that's like a really solid pitching wedge or an easy 9. And then same with 180, that's a solid 7. It's not really an easy 6. Like there's a kind of a gap between my 6 and 7. Oh, I just made the teenager cringe over there because I said
Oh my
6'7".
God, 6'7".
But my number was low. I had a stone cold shank in there for one of my shots, so that 0 really fouls things up.
Yeah, but you take that 0 out, you're probably still only 67.3. So it draws an average line right there. And if you look at those four distances, everything's below average.
Yeah.
Right. So if we can get that 60-yarder up and that 180-yard up to just the average, I mean, your combine score goes up to 74, 75, and your handicap drops to a 2 or 3 at that point.
Right.
So, kind of basically what you're looking for. TrackMan does a combine competition every month, and they track the best scores that are eligible. And I think the best score ever was Patrick Reed at like a 92 something.
I've seen Eugenio in here with some really solid scores.
Yeah, like 88, 89, stuff like that.
Where when you look at mine, it's like this shotgun, like a bird shotgun. His is like a rifle on every yardage. It's
For sure.
Incredible.
But you can basically, kind of gauge off of the TrackMan Combine score kind of where you stack up against different players in the world.
That's amazing.
You know what I mean? You could say, okay, where do I stack up against, let's say, like, so Patrick Reed, for example, he's done it. I think he has the highest score ever. You could go in there and you could compare your distances from 60, 70, 80 yards to his and see where he's better at. But to me, I think we just need to look at the lofts and lies on your clubs. We probably need to do a proper gapping, is what I'm thinking. And then redo the combine and see if that helps with some of those yardages. And then I need to show you probably how to hit a 3/4 half wedge shot.
Yeah. No, I definitely need to work on the wedge game. There's no question. I mean, scoring clubs was where I was getting frustrated because I finally felt like I was turning the corner and not hitting as many balls out of bounds. Which still can rear its ugly head, still be a problem. I'm hitting the ball and play, hitting the driver really well in November especially. And my scoring clubs were terrible. I'm missing greens from 70 yards. There's nothing more frustrating than that.
For sure.
Or even at Southern Hills, you might hit the green, but you've just guaranteed yourself a 3-putt because you've missed. You can't really be more than 10 yards off ever.
Yeah, it's because that course has been enhanced.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like Pinehurst.
So working on these shots too, if we're looking at programs on the TrackMan that I can hone in on to fix this, we're thinking like Performance Center, right? That's the place where I can see if I'm gaining strokes against a scratch or gaining strokes against a PGA Tour player, whatever.
Yeah. So the Performance Center will give you strokes gained. It goes all the way from tee to, I think, down to 30 yards maybe. The virtual range is another really good one because you can literally set it for whatever distance that you want. If you want to go practice a 53-yard wedge shot, you can go practice a 53-yard wedge shot. If you want the green above you, you can practice a 53-yard wedge shot to a green that's elevated. If you want a shot that you're hitting into a green that's below you, you can get all that. You can get.
We should go look at that when we're done with the interview and get some of that on camera for people that are new to using TrackMan. They can see how to do it.
For sure.
And there's probably some things I still need to learn on it.
For sure.
But moving on, so we got this plan, and we're going to stick to it. And one thing you and I talked about is how we're going to adjust it every month. One thing I'm going to commit to doing is really journaling after every time I practice. Like yesterday I came in, I played a round of golf. I shot 67. That's a good round, another 6-7 reference. I played up tees a little bit at Shangri-La because you told me.
Yeah.
Start playing up a little bit. Start getting used to scoring well. Made 0. I didn't have my best stuff, but I made 0 bogeys, which I thought was a good start to the year.
And you made 5 birdies?
I made 5 birdies, and yeah, so it was a good round. Did the combine. The day before that, practiced putting in Southern Hills, 3, 4, 5 drill. I want to make sure that these 3-footers are just automatic. If I can make effectively 100% of those, that's going to make a big difference. And so when I started putting the plan together, I used this as kind of my thought process. Is you were thinking about this, and you said you need to play a lot more golf, which might sound weird for somebody that plays more than the average bear.
For sure.
But you and I both grew up. You were younger when you started. You were 8 years old. I was 13. Our parents used to drop us off at the golf course. I worked at the golf course, and I would work for a few hours, but mostly I was there playing golf from sun up to sundown, and never took any formal lessons. Never had a swing thought. Just kind of dug it out of the dirt and figured out how to play the game and got pretty good.
For sure.
So is that kind of why you gave me that advice? You think I kind of need to get back to just getting out on the course and figuring it out?
There's no replacement for getting out on the course and getting in playing conditions. golf is the only, we talked about this the other day, golf is the only sport where the playing field is completely different than the practice field.
Yeah.
Right? So the fields are completely different on the practice field than they are on the playing field. You're not practicing shots in game conditions with wind, slope, all the different things that you have to calculate and think about when you're playing on the course versus a driving range.
Yeah.
And we also talked about this before we went on camera. You know, how many times have you been on the course where you've hit a shot and you're like, okay, did I just figure something out? And then you do it 3 or 4 more times and it works, and you're like, okay, I did figure something out. And then it's just something else that you add to your arsenal at that point.
Yeah. I think you can pull a lot more confidence out of getting it done on the course versus getting it done on the range.
For sure.
Because how many times have I got done striping it on the range and then gone out and had no golf swing?
Absolutely. And there's nothing to say, you know, if the course isn't busy and you're not going to hold anybody up, drop an extra ball.
Right.
Go play worst ball. Hit 2 balls. Play the worst shot into the green. Get used to saving par and bogey from less than optimal circumstances,
Right.
because you're not always going to be in the middle of the fairway. As far as you hit it, there's a very good chance that you're going to be, you know, you may have tree trouble, or, you know, you may be just a little bit in the rough,
Yeah.
but you only have a 60-yard shot, which
It
is a
doesn't
huge
always need to
advantage.
be. It doesn't always need to be a round I'm counting towards my handicap. It could just be out there actually. Instead of spending an hour and a half on the range, go to the West 9 and drop different balls. I like the idea of doing worst ball. Shambu and I have actually talked about taking my 7-year-old out and making him hit it into spots, and I have to play from his ball. You know, just fun stuff.
That's
you know?
great. Or play a shamble, but use his tee shot.
Yeah.
I beg your pardon?
I mean, I'm not saying you're a bad golfer, but I'm
There's
just
usually a
saying
Walmart between my ball and his.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
that's what I'm saying. Plus, you're a little more. You may be a little more accurate, but you play a lot more golf than he does.
Right, right.
So, I mean, that's just a huge advantage. And the good thing you have going for you is you have all the practice facilities at Southern. You have the course that you can go play. It's a major championship golf course with PGA Tour level practice facilities.
Right. Well, and then from a ball striking perspective too, I have TrackMan.
Absolutely.
At tour quality, where I can spend a lot of time honing in on my swing, but doing it in a fun way too, and gamifying it. Right.
sure.
I mean, just playing a round of golf on the TrackMan takes 45 minutes to an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And there's course management that I'm learning from that. I'm thinking through strategically what side of the fairway I want to aim at, what pins I want to go for, what pins I don't want to go for.
For sure.
So it's not complete apples to apples of playing around a golf, but I think
It gets you thinking.
It's better than pounding balls for an hour.
For sure, and it gets you used to thinking how you're going to think on the golf course, right? Like you said, okay, what section of the fairway do I want to be in? What quadrant of the green do I want to end up in?
All right, so now one area that you and I talked about where you like the idea of having some real structured practice is putting and chipping. Pros spend probably significantly more time practicing putting and chipping than they do. Now, part of this, their swings are really good, you know, and they are making constant little tweaks to their swing with the highest level coaches in the world.
For sure.
But, I mean, I guarantee if my scrambling goes from 30% to 60%, if my putts around go from 33 to 30, I mean, you're talking major strokes.
For sure.
That is actually easy to practice. I mean, 2 hour, I'm thinking that with my work schedule and playing golf and being a father and a husband and all that, I could give 2 hours a week though to dedicated putting practice.
Absolutely.
And if I never miss that, that's probably going to make a big impact.
Absolutely, dude. And you can take the kids out and make it fun. You
Yeah.
know, you can make games where you can play sevens, right? So if you make the first putt, it's worth 2 points. If you get closest to the hole, it's worth 1 point. And if you 3-putt, you lose a point.
Right? Yeah,
First 1 to 7 wins.
that's fun. Shambu and I will go out and play 9 holes where we take turns picking the hole. I usually spot them 2 or 3 strokes for 9 holes, and it's always intense.
Yeah,
And
dude, play horse.
It puts pressure to it. Horse.
Yeah, you can play horse. I mean, there's different ways that you can gamify putting practice and still make it fun because, to me, I've never been a really good putter, but I hate practicing putting. It's just so boring to me. I get out there for 15 minutes and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
cool, you know? But if I would just take 20 minutes a day and come in here in the shop and do 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there of the gate drill, I
Right.
know that my putting would improve, you know? But I'm at the point in my golfing career where all my golf is entertaining people. So I have to focus more on making sure that the vibe stays high rather than my
Sure.
score, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no. And that's always going to be the case, I think, for me too. But I want to get better.
You want to
at
get
the
better
same
for
time.
sure.
So
I
the,
get
the
it.
big drill that I like that Maggie Roller taught me is called the 3-4-5 drill. Take my putter, which is 34 inches, so just outside the hole, stick a tee, and I put 4 tees around. And I have to make 12 3-footers in a row before I move on to 4-footers. I have to make 8 of those in a row before I move on to 5-footers, and I have to make 4 of those in a row.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, there's a difference on the 11th and 12th 3-footer than there is on the first and second.
For sure. Well, that's just a good 3-putt of 1-inch drill.
Yeah.
I mean, all you're trying to do is learn how to avoid 3-putting.
Yeah.
Right? You could do that drill. That's a really, really, really good drill. You could also do 3, 6, and 9.
Yeah.
You could go north, south, east, and west, and 3, 6, and 9, and you just have to make as many as you possibly can. What I do with some of our juniors in here is I'll bring them into the putting green, and I'll set up 3, 6, and 9, and they have to make every single putt from every distance. If they miss one, they have to start over. We've got a junior in here. She's 13 years old. She's really, really good. She doesn't like practicing putting. It took her 45 minutes to do it the other day.
Yeah.
To make 3, 6, 9 putts in a row.
Well, same. I do a 30, 40, 50 drill too that Mickelson teaches. You do it downhill and uphill. And I love that drill because, I mean, there's nothing worse than you got a 40-footer and you knock it 8 feet past, and all of a sudden you're in 3-putt zone and there's pressure.
For sure.
And he said, like, you put the tees around the hole, so it's a 3-foot circle because you know you're going to make a high percentage there.
Absolutely.
I mean, Mickelson's stats one year were like 99.9 on 3-footers. So he's like,
It's wild.
He talked about when he won the PGA Championship, he chipped it to 3 feet. He was like, I knew I was going to make it because I practiced 3-footers and I make 100% of them.
Absolutely. Tiger was the same way. I think there was one year where he missed one putt inside 3 feet the entire year, which is
incredible.
Insane to think about.
Yeah. Well, there's some people that take so many gimmies that they also have that number.
For sure.
And then
Yeah,
they melt-
stop
then they-
taking
then
gimmies.
they
You're
melt
not doing
down and
yourself
member
favors.
guests or
For
club
sure.
championships.
For sure. Yeah, you're not doing yourself any favors.
Oh, so last thing I want to talk about on chipping before we go look at the TrackMan and look at some of the videos of my swing. Chipping. There are times for some block practice where you just got to get your technique down. But really what I want to focus on this year more when I'm over at Southern is doing things like dropping 10 balls between, 90, because on the those triplets, I can go almost to 90 yards, 90, 70, 50, 30, right? And hit 2 balls at each distance. And then go up on the green with my putter and see how many times I get up and down.
That's really good.
And also, the greens guys will like is I'm probably going to fix some pitch marks along the way to.
For sure. That way you don't get yelled at.
And then then it's dropping 10 random balls around the green and just really get good at getting up and down 70% of the time. That's where like the Tiger 5 he talks about. There's easy up and downs. I guarantee if I really track that stat, it was bad.
Yeah. No, a lot of people are. I also think another really good goal is set maybe inside 20 yards, right? And you go practice chipping for an hour. Make it a goal to make 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Make it a goal to make 1 from the bunker.
Right.
Right? Because how many times around do you see some of those guys on TV look like they're just dead and they make it?
Yeah.
And instead of losing 2 strokes, they gain a stroke from somewhere that they probably shouldn't have gained a stroke from.
That makes sense. Well, I think for all of our listeners, I mean, you might not want to put as much time into it as I am, but you can still do something and find that area. You're probably not going to be able to prove everything and give attention to everything, but find 1 or 2 areas that you can fix in 2026.
For sure.
And, you're guaranteed to probably lower your handicap by a stroke or 2, depending upon who you are, if you're focusing a little more. And I think that's where I missed the ball in 2025. I spent a lot of time, but it was a lot of mindless. I'm just going through the motions, hitting balls. And you're not getting better that way. And there's no feedback loop to talk about it with somebody like you, to talk about it with Maggie. It's just you're frustrated that your handicap's at 4 instead of 2.
For sure. And to make that big jump from a low single digit to a plus handicap, it's a lot of work involved. I don't think people understand to get to a 0 scratch handicap how much golf and how much practice you have to play. I ended last year at a 1.7. I'm going to end this year at almost a 4. But I've also only played 7 rounds of golf outdoors.
Yeah.
But I've probably played 40 rounds indoors.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed is all the rounds that I've played indoors, my distance control is just getting so much better inside 100 yards because we sit here and hit a lot of wedges.
Right.
Right? And since I've opened Tour Quality and I go play golf after practicing wedges all day, I've never hit so many flag sticks in my life.
That's great. Well, I look forward to hitting flag sticks in 2026. You do believe I can get the scratcher better, right? I mean,
Not a problem.
You've seen my
We're going to
swing,
make it
right?
happen. I have not worried.
I'm close. I know, and I guess a lot of it's to have a better attitude this year. And
Yeah, you got to.
even caught myself yesterday. I'm the only one in here, and I hit a bad shot, and you're like, I'm like, no, we're gonna fix this. We're gonna fight to have a good attitude while we're playing, because that's gonna make it's gonna make entertaining people better, but two, I think I'm just gonna end up scoring better as well.
For sure. Yeah. And you just got to keep it in the back of your mind. After you've hit that shot, you can't do anything about it.
Right.
So just move on and focus all your efforts on the next shot, trying to make that a better shot than the shot you hit before.
Well, let's go check out TrackMan and look at some of the different areas we can work on, and then also the video of my swing from the last lesson.
For sure.
All right. So Ross, something you said to me at the lesson the other day is that you understand why it is I can go out and shoot a 66 and turn around the very next round and shoot an 89, because so much of my swing has been built on timing instead of some proper mechanics.
For sure.
And we worked on really just one thing that we're going to go through. Well, two things: posture and my hip turn. That we'll
getting everything
through.
Clear.
And look, I get it. I'm still going to be a little too steep in what we're working on, but we can fix that later.
Yep.
Well, let's start with where my posture was bad. Can you show me here the difference of where I started and where I ended up?
Yeah, right here. So this is where we started. It's just a little squatty. Whole lot of knee bend, just squatty. Maybe a little too far bent over. If we draw this line here, so see how we've got more alignment here versus your knees are sticking out there. We look more squatty here, right?
Right.
You can even see you're taller over here.
Yeah.
Versus right here. What we're working on is at impact, trying to get everything to clear better. So on the left here, if you see Parker kind of at impact, right? Everything's just kind of facing the ball. Nothing's clearing.
He's throwing my hands at it.
Yeah, you're kind of throwing your hands at it. You're sliding a little bit. See how your hip's outside of the line there?
Yeah.
Right.
My weight's not right. I mean, it hasn't transferred to the left side like it needs to.
For sure. And then if we look at this swing on the right, we're even a little shorter at the top. And then as we come through, we're starting to see a little more cheek at impact if you look, right? If you look at these two frames,
Yeah.
you can see more of your left leg. The camera hasn't moved. You can see more of the back of your left leg. You can't see any of it here. So what's happening is we're starting to get everything clear to allow you to slot the club and release it properly. So if you look here at your release, see when the club is pointed at the target?
Yeah.
Right? The club's parallel to the ground and it's pointed at the target. We go over here.
Hand flip.
Starting to flip the hands. See how you're posted on this left leg here?
Yeah.
And this you're sliding.
Right.
This left leg's still a little bent here. This leg's nice and straight. So we're working on starting to get everything clearing and moving left to get the club to release properly.
What's nice is, I mean, it wasn't an easy move for me because I struggle a little bit with hip mobility, right? I mean, you're really good. You can stand there and just move your hips, not your chest. My wife can do it because she does yoga.
For sure.
And that's where probably an area I've actually worked it into my daily routines. I'm gonna do stretching at least one day a week and start to try to work on some.
Yeah, just hip and upper body disassociation, and like you're just because of your mobility, you're never gonna look like Dustin Johnson at impact.
Right.
You know, with the hips wide open.
Yeah.
But we've got to get.
I'm also not 6'4" and lanky. So.
Correct. We've got to get from where we're yanking it from the top and throwing the hands to allowing the body to swing the golf
so
club.
Much better right there.
For sure. All right, so TrackMan, okay? The best places for you to live are going to be these two tabs right here.
Okay.
Okay, so you can go to the practice. You've got the Performance Center, right? It shows you strokes gained. So you can do everything from driver all the way up to a different wedge shot.
And it sets you up on the driver. It'll actually set you up on legit holes. Like you're playing a hole, so it's going to look at not just whether you hit the fairway, because look, fairways are important, but if you're hitting at 320, if you're in the rough, I'd rather be 65 yards in the rough than 130 in the middle of the fairway. So like it'll equate with that and show you how good you are at driving the golf ball. But if you're behind a tree, you're going to lose.
It doesn't matter.
Right?
Yeah. It doesn't matter if you're behind a tree. So, what you can do, you can set it up for off the tee. You can have it randomize different holes for different tee shots. So you've got one that goes left and then or right, and then you've got a hole that goes left. Or you can do just approach shots, and you can set it up for random flags with random pin positions. Right. So let's say 50 to 150. It tells you strokes gained to 0 handicap. Right. So the goal here is to keep this in the positive and green. Right. It tracks your shots down here, and it'll give you a random distance.
And I like in random pin locations too. So not only are you having to make shots from random distances, but also to random pin locations. Like if you look at this pin location on the right edge, like you don't want to aim at the pin. So
No.
this is getting you through thinking through like a decade golf or whatever, thinking through, okay, I need to be aimed. If I'm going to fade it, I need to be aimed, 20 feet left of the pin with this club in order to get it in that circle.
If you look at it, it's biased your landing area to the left of the flag, right?
Right.
So it's okay if you're left of the flag.
It's almost teaching you with the circles where to aim.
Yeah.
Which I like.
Or where not to aim.
Or where not. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Either way to look at it, This is a really good one. And then we've got the virtual range here, which is the target practice. So you can set up any distance to any green, any fairway, any shot shape. You can sit here and hit literal 5-yard shots all the way up to 380-yard shots, I think.
I love it.
Yeah. So you can sit here and work on your driving. You've got a 325-yard hole here from back here. You can hit tee shots that way. You can set up this way. You can hit tee shots that way. You can sit here and hit approach shots over the trees if you need to. You could sit here and hit wedge shots over the water, approach shots over the water. Same here. I mean, there's a ridge in that green. There's a ridge in that green. You can see it. This green has a giant ridge through the middle of it. This one is an elevated approach shot. This one's an elevated approach shot. So, I mean, you can replicate anything on here.
It's better than just going to LaFortune Park. And again, nothing against LaFortune Park, but spending $16 to buy a large bucket of range balls and pounding them into a field is not as good as having prescribed shots with actual greens and actual pins, actual fairways to hit. That's the only way you're going to get better. Like the pros don't just go to a range and pound balls.
No.
Like they visualize where they're hitting on that range.
For sure.
But this is, in my opinion,
The best way to do
especially
it.
if it's 105 degrees out and blazing sun, or if it's 30 degrees.
It's 70 degrees year
It's
round
going
in
to be
here.
70 degrees year
And-
round. And you're not hitting range balls that are going to crack your driver face. You're hitting Pro V1s
For
or
sure.
TaylorMade TP5s.
Yeah, it's all premium balls, and nothing against the guys at LaFortune. I have friends that work there, but you're hitting limited flight golf balls,
Right.
right? So you don't actually know how
You don't know
far.
what the number are. Yeah.
Exactly, man.
Even if you're using your rangefinder, and even if the balls were premium, even at Southern Hills, when I'm hitting balls on the range, I'm not really learning my distance. One, if I'm on the top of the range, I'm hitting downhill, maybe into the wind. If I'm down at the other end,
You're
I'm
hitting
hitting uphill into the wind. Like, so there's something to be said about coming here and really knowing truly what your stock yardages
For sure.
are.
Absolutely. You've got to know how far. You've got to know how far you're carrying everything. Right. Carry is what matters.
Yeah.
Can I clear the trouble? Is this ball going to fly the bunker?
Yeah.
Right. Also, what's it going to do when it flies the bunker and hits the green?
Right.
Is it going to roll left? Is it going to go right? Is it going to stop?
It
Is
just
gonna
hits the
come back?
concrete and bounces. You don't know. Out of
Yeah,
the range,
exactly,
right? Yeah.
man. Because just getting the ball on the green is only part of the equation of the approach shot. What the ball does on the green after it hits the ground is also another component of the approach shot.
Yeah. Well, Ross, thanks for taking the time. Thanks
Yeah,
for
for
coaching
sure.
me. And if you're in the Tulsa area and you need clubs fitted, this is the only place to come. And $250 a month, right, for a
Yep.
Diamond membership.
Mm-hmm.
You have a key fob access to this place. It is the best deal that you're going to have. You're going to spend more than that on
Range balls.
range balls
For sure.
if you are practicing at all. So this is a great deal. And you get discounts on other
Fittings,
things,
lessons.
if you're
Yeah, I
a
mean,
member, so.
you get, for $250 a month, you get unlimited 24-hour access. You get 1 free lesson a month, and you get 25% off all services, and you also get 10% off merchandise.
Well, thanks for everybody for listening and watching today. And if you're on social media, anywhere where you get your social media, subscribe to our channel, subscribe to Tour Quality's channel. They put out they're a great follow on Instagram. Very creative, fun stuff that they put out on a regular basis. We appreciate everyone that's watching.
Thanks.